Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm about to embark on my second watch of Halloween Ends. I'm going to watch it on Peacock. To some of my new viewers, hello. We've gained over 100 subscribers since Halloween Ends came out, so that's awesome. Definitely lost some, because people didn't like my opinion on the movie. But guess what? I'm going to be fair. I'm going to watch this a second time, highlight some moments as I'm watching it, and give my thoughts as I'm watching it with you guys. And then afterward, I'll recap and basically tell you overall what I thought of the movie on my second watch. So, haters, lovers, and everyone alike, let's pull up a chair and let's go over Halloween Ends again. Definitely a banger of an opening scene. I mean, to see a kid die like so brutally like that is like, whoa. But I gotta give David Gordon Green credit, is like he didn't really focus so much on it. Like he didn't really give us close-ups of this dead kid or anything like that. You saw just enough in the periphery to really get the idea of what happened and how brutal it is. I mean, that was gnarly, but that entire sequence, like, the kid's a little asshole, sure. And Corey, like, it's interesting to see this kind of, tact with Corey, that he seems afraid. Like, he does seem afraid of Michael Myers, and it seems like that's kind of playing into the fact that the town of Haddonfield is still kind of terrified of that legend, and they know he's technically still out there, and I think that's a really, really good way to start the movie. So far, I'm still not hating it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I don't think I can, but we'll see. Just started. So a lot to unpack here early on. You get introduced to Corey, present day, and I really like the interaction between him and Allison. I do agree with some people that it does, it is kind of like, well, would she really fall for him this quickly? But then at the same time, you look at it and you go, well, I mean, she has no one aside from her grandma now, and it is not uncommon. Speaking from experience, sometimes when you go through certain tragedies and lose a lot of people close to you, you kind of gravitate toward the first person that really shows you any interest. And she was very intrigued by him. But, regardless of that, their chemistry is really good. I do like them together. And obviously the grocery store scene, we've got Laurie and Hawkins, and that scene is just awesome because that's my Laurie Strode. You know what I mean? Like, I took issue sometimes with 18 and kills at times because I felt like, the Laurie Strode from 1978, granted, she'd been through a lot and whatnot, wouldn't say certain things, wouldn't do certain things. Some of it seemed a little forced. But that was my Laurie Strode right there. I mean, watching that scene is just, I don't know, it's really heartfelt. It's really, dare I say, cute. But it is, her and Hawkins, clearly, they have this will they or won't they thing. It's been going on for all three movies. They should have just leaned into that more. I do agree, but I love their scenes together, and that scene was just perfect. Yeah. So, again, guys, still loving it. Oh, my God. What am I going to do? I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I think that Corey is an immensely sympathetic and likable character. I really, really do, because it plays on the idea of Haddonfield literally being haunted by the specter of Michael Myers and being infected by evil, and Haddonfield and wanting so badly to talk about Michael Myers and remind everybody about what he did. They're literally creating a new boogeyman because their boogeyman disappeared, and they're making Corey that. And it's just, it's shitty, man. It's so shitty. What happened to him was an accident that he felt awful for. Clearly, there is some kind of darkness in him because there is in everyone, but this town and these people not allowing him to live a normal life, not allowing him to show his face in public, they're creating a new Michael Myers, and they don't even fucking know it. It's just like, it's compelling as shit. Like, oh my God. All right. We're getting close to the cave, so. Also, the one other complaint that I've heard people talk about is, oh yeah, Corey's getting bullied by these high school marching band kids, and then he's supposed to make this turn in the movie. Like, dude, oh my God. I don't know how else to put this, but like being in Corey's position, because, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have had a bunch of teenagers act a fool and run their mouths to you. I have. And in the moment, you're literally like, dude, you're children. Like, I can't fight you. You're a child. And it's like, clearly he's trying to make a concerted effort to not be viewed as what people think he is. So if they already think he's a kid killer, what are they going to think if he just beats the shit out of a couple of teenagers? Oh, you killed kids and you put some kids in the hospital. You're totally a normal person. Like, nah. I completely understand why he doesn't do that. But yeah, now we're in the cave, and we're about to get the game recognizes game moment. I'm not going to record while I'm watching that because I genuinely love that fucking moment. And I love this set piece. This whole cave set piece is awesome. Obviously, all built, but it's fantastic. Also, didn't notice the first time I watched it, but the second time watching, you can see Michael in the distance right after Corey falls off the bridge to the right of the screen. So, thought that was cool. I gotta say, too, I don't disagree that Corey should have been introduced in one of the previous two movies, because although I feel like he does have a good arc here, he could have been so much more fleshed out had they introduced him in one of the previous two movies. But, you know, we've got to judge a movie based off of what we've been given, not what we would have maybe preferred. And what we've been given, I still think he has a very interesting arc, and he's a really sympathetic character, and he's an intriguing character. But yes, would have loved to have seen this transformation with Corey take place over, you know, 2 movies or even 3 movies, because that's a compliment to the filmmakers and the writers that you wrote a character that is very interesting, and people wanted more of him. I mean, love it. All right, guys, so I decided that I'm going to stop giving thoughts as I'm watching it because I'm really into it, like I was in the theater. I don't want to interrupt this rewatch anymore, but right now we're starting to see the unraveling of Corey Cunningham, and it's really fucking intriguing. So I'm going to watch it. I'm doing a live commentary Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Drum Dum's channel with my buddy Lee, so obviously we'll be able to dissect this more on Friday. But I'm going to report back at the end of the movie and give my thoughts after my rewatch. But yeah, so I'll see you guys on the other side. The flippity flip. So I just wrapped up my second viewing of Halloween Ends, and I've got to say, I like it even more. Some of you might not want to hear this. That's totally fine. I already can see the people typing out paragraphs in the comments telling me how this is, you know, an absolute travesty to the franchise and what have you. And you're entitled to that opinion. I completely disagree. But I will say one thing first before I kind of go into my thoughts after this second viewing. For people that this wasn't for them, it didn't work for them, they wanted more of the prototypical Laurie versus Michael throughout the movie, killing people through Haddonfield, that type of movie, I can totally understand why you didn't like this movie. Like, I'm not going to take that away from you. Like, if that was the style you were going more for, I understand if this movie just wasn't it for you. And then there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. The issue I take is with objectivity. When it's like, objectively, I think this is the best directed of the 3. I think it's the most well-written in terms of, like, dialogue amongst people, talking like actual people. There's actually kind of a plot here. There's new ideas in here. They're really trying some things. I don't think any of that stuff is really debatable. I mean, again, if it's not, well, this isn't the story I preferred or whatever, that's totally fine. But objectively speaking, this is not a poorly made movie. But I understand that if it's just not for you. You know, over the past few days, you guys have known I've been very open on social media about some of the just absolutely insane shit I have heard and things that have been said to me and whatnot. And, you know, people saying, well, you know, the accusations made, like, you're a Halloween fanboy, you love every Halloween movie, you'll apologize for any Halloween movie. You don't watch my stuff. Clearly you don't watch my stuff. I don't like Halloween Resurrection. The first half of Rob Zombie's Halloween, I don't like. Halloween H2O is a mixed bag at best for me. Halloween 2018 is a mixed bag at best for me. these are not, it's not like all 13 of these movies are in my top 20 horror movies of all time. No, no, I can be very objective and point out flaws. I admit I love Halloween 5. Does it have a ton of flaws? Yes. I love it for nostalgia. It is the first one I saw. It's what got me into the series. Nostalgia's a hell of a drug. I would never argue with you and say it's the best movie in the series. God, no. Again, this is all subjectivity. So there's just a lot that's been like thrown my way that's and a lot of people's way that really like this movie, that they just don't know what they're talking about. And I don't know when this whole gatekeeper shit started, you know, in horror especially. I get it with Star Wars and Star Trek and some of those like really big long-running science fiction series and stuff like that. They have a huge fan base, and so does Halloween. But I don't know when gatekeeping started with us, where it was like, oh, well, hold on. If you liked this, you're not a true fan. It's so dumb. Like, you're dumb. I love Halloween 3. You can see the poster right there. That is not a Michael Myers movie. It's a Halloween movie. Halloween Ends, I would still argue, is a Michael Myers movie. But it's much more of just a Halloween movie. It's a story in the universe, but it connects to Michael Myers and has Michael Myers in it. The thing about Halloween Ends, after my second watch, that I really appreciate about it is, for the first time in a long time, it really felt like Michael Myers' essence was always there, even if he wasn't on screen. Haddonfield is just fractured, and it is because of him. And they can't let go of him. And it's breeding hatred and division and anger throughout this community. And there's a great line when they're talking to Jeremy's dad in the bar, Laurie Strode is, and he's saying, I felt like people took my pain and made it theirs. And the look that Laurie has in that moment, it's like, same. And that's like portrayed throughout this movie, is that the town of Haddonfield took her pain, took what happened to her 44 years ago, and they're making it their own and now blaming her for it. And the fact that Corey is someone that wanted to be good, but nobody would let him. Like, no matter what he did, nobody would let him. So he gets to a point where he's just like, I can't live the way I want to. You won't let me. You will always see me as a murderer. You will always see me as a psychopath. And you get told something long enough and you start to believe it. And it's a sad reality. And again, if it's not the story direction someone would have taken, that's totally fine. But I think it's really intriguing, and I think it's really fresh, and I think it's really new. And if Rowan Campbell couldn't act, it probably wouldn't work. But he acts his ass off in this movie. And I love the chemistry between him and Andy Matichik. And I love the fact that Jamie Lee, or Laurie Strode, I should say, the character, is saying, there's something off about this kid. I see something in him that I saw when I looked into Michael's eyes 44 years ago. And like, that would make sense, because only she could speak to that. I've looked this guy in the eyes. I've faced off with him. There's something about this kid that just reminds me of him, and I don't like it. A lot of things that I took issue with, like minor gripes I had the first time around, really smoothed over for me in this one. You know, like when I first saw it in theaters, when Corey stabbed himself in the throat and said, if I can't have her, I'm immediately like, but why? Like, and now watching it the second time, I just don't know how I missed it the first time. It makes complete sense. He hears Allison pull up to the house. So as soon as she comes in, if he's alive, you know, it's like, yeah, I came to kill your grandma with this mask and this knife and this jumpsuit because I want to be Michael Myers and I want to put this all off on Michael Myers. And then it's like, oh, well, yeah, I don't want to be with you. And then he goes to jail, blah, blah, blah. So his way of looking at it was, if I kill myself, it'll look like she did it and I'll be a martyr. And Allison will, again, that line will come true. Laurie won't be able to have Allison because Allison will excommunicate her. How dare you kill him just because you didn't want us to be together. So it made sense. Now, again, if you didn't want to go that route, that's totally fine. Massive Christine vibes, My Bodyguard vibes. There's just so many layers to this movie, man. There's so much. And again, I will reiterate, I would have loved to have seen Corey go on through at least 2 of these movies. I really wanted to flesh him out more. I liked him so much. And not in the sense of like these weird motherfuckers that are like, oh, you guys are just, you guys are sensationalizing serial killers. No, 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 no. Not in that way at all. At all. I literally just like was so intrigued by him that like I wanted more of him. I felt like out of all of the new characters we got in this rebooted trilogy, he is easily the most interesting. I'm not saying the most likable or no. I'm saying the most interesting, the one that had the most layers. And whether you like the layers, you like the story, again, subjective. But I think he was the most interesting. There was so much to peel back on that onion. We only got to do it in one movie, and we got a lot of it. I did like it, but I would have loved more of it. I mean, guys, there's a lot I could go into, and I can't wait to do the live commentary with Drum Dums on Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Be there, guys, because that's when I'm really going to dissect all of that bit by bit. But everything that was kind of a minor gripe for me worked better for me this time. And everything I loved even more. It's just a character-driven story where Michael is this specter hanging over this town. Even though he's not physically there, in a lot of these scenes, he's still there. I love this movie. For me, personally, it's my favorite of the Blumhouse trilogy. I feel like it is the one. And again, another thing I cannot stress enough, people have said to me, you say you like it because it was different, but you would have liked it if it was the same thing over and over again. Well, again, if you watch any of my stuff, you would hear me say that one of the big reasons why Halloween 2018 is like, I think number 9 on my ranking. It's pretty low on my ranking is because it was the same thing over and over again. Like, no, I wouldn't have. If they would have given me Halloween 2018 again in this movie, no, I would not have been all gung-ho about it. I didn't want it anymore. And again, I can totally respect if you did. Totally respect it. I'm sure I'm still going to get hate comments, and I'm still going to get people messaging me and tweeting at me and saying dumb shit. I do not care. I love this movie. You're not going to be able to change my mind on that, no matter what you say. I really hate to see the fan base this divided. I really, really hate to see it this divided because it's like we're all Halloween fans at the end of the day. I would love for them to make a movie that all of us can be happy with, but that hasn't happened since 1978. So, I mean, this should be kind of par for the course by now. But I'm no stranger to it. Love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Love Halloween 5. Saying I love Halloween Ends, it's just re-upping on people shitting on me. So I don't really care. It's not going to change my day-to-day life. Guys, I loved Halloween Ends. I love Halloween Ends. I will be doing a franchise re-ranking video this week. After I did it after Kills and after 2018 as well. So keeping in tradition. And this one's going to be pretty damn high. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, even if you didn't like the movie. Just leave a comment. Tell me what you liked, at least. I will challenge you guys that. I will challenge those of you who didn't like this movie. Just leave a comment and tell me what you did like. One thing you liked about this movie. I'd love to hear some more positivity in this space right now because it's been a lot of negativity and it's really exhausting. But follow me on social media, check me out on patreon.com, and I'll see you guys later this week with my new ranking, with my live commentary with Drum Dums, and then we'll be at Scarefest live and in person. Christian and I, the Uneeda Horror Podcast, will be live and in person. So very, very excited for all that. Busy week. Love you guys. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I am pulling out.